So I'm James. His name is James, but Namjin Choi. Good to have you here. It's been kind of lonely for me because I had to speak alone in this class for a while. I think it's been 2 years. I think. So can I have your name, please?
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
All right, good to see you, Joe. You are
Son.
son?
Yeah.
Okay, good to see you. All right. So are you guys is this first semester or quarter for you guys here? This is the first time you're taking
I
this?
think third.
Third quarter? Okay. So you did take the classes online for a while? Okay. Right. So we get used to the online classes, but it's kind of weird. But I didn't want to just pretend that I had people in this class anymore. So it's good for me. Alright, so this class is for Lordland ethics in Christian counseling. Are you familiar with Christian counseling or any counseling, secular counseling? Son? Yeah. So what is your education background? What did you study before?
Just ended.
MD?
Yeah.
Alright, great. So you finished the MD?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seems like you are taking this class for extending the status.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. So where did you take the MD then?
Ottawa.
Harvard?
Yeah.
Okay, just around there, right?
Yeah.
Good. Did you study only MD in Harvard or? Actually, that is a bio, right? Bio. Harvard is theological school, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that they had MD program in bio. So, what about Joe? What did you study before?
Religious counseling. Same
What?
school.
Same school?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you familiar with counseling stuff?
Yeah.
Good. Biola University has School of Psychology, that's what's called the Rosemary, and they have their own counseling center on La Mirada and Imperial area, which is good. If you have a chance to take some real counseling, I want to just recommend you guys to take some counseling because they charge some money. Like if you want to just work with PsyDs and PhDs, you want to just pay around $200 per hour. But they have a master students and they want to just practice the counseling skills. So I don't think that they're gonna charge more than $30 or $50 per hour. So if you are interested, you want to just take some counseling. Counseling is not only for what's so-called mental health problem people, but that's good for all people. So if you are doable, you want to just take some counseling. Some countries and people they are thinking counseling or meaning the psychiatrists at the hospitals is kind of weird, and you just see the counselors or psychiatrists when you have serious problems or something. That's not true actually, especially in this country. Counseling is pretty popular, but not all people are interested in it, but some people, when they got too much stress and got depressed a little bit, and then they want to just see the doctors and counselors because their insurance covers that. Alright, today we want to just talk about syllabus thing and work on a little bit about the ethics and laws. There are ethics and laws in Christian counseling. Christian counseling is pretty much the same to secular counseling, but Christian means we want to just focus on a little more religious stuff on counseling. But technically, Christian counseling, use almost the same skills and techniques with the secular counselings. So almost the same thing. But there are rules and ethics can be a little bit bored if you are not familiar with the rules and ethics. But we want to just work on it. Course description, but what is this? Course description, and the subject of this course is the law and ethics in Christian counseling. What is law and ethics in Christian counseling and how to apply it? There are lots of laws and codes in the United States. Whenever you work with anything, you just work for a company or hospitals, and there are lots of laws and ethics. You can't avoid it. You can ignore it because once you break it, violate it, you have to pay for it. So we have to know the laws and especially the laws and codes. Counseling is the same thing. Whether you provide counseling to your clients or fee-based or not, you have to familiar with the laws. You don't want to just violate those laws. And there is no excuse that I don't know it, I didn't know it. It cannot be the excuse for you. Because there are lots of penal codes too. So we will just work on the laws and ethics and course objective. Since I got my reading glasses case about glasses, so I'm just trying to review it. The course is designed to understand what the law and ethics in Christian counseling and how to apply it. This course will challenge students to find their own status as Christians and future Christian counselors, an ethical way of practicing Christian counseling. Sorry, I can't read it sometimes. Right, we have a textbooks written by Randolph. Published the publication in the IBP, the Christian Counseling Ethics. It's by Sanders Randolph. The references, issues and ethics in helping professions. George Choi, it's well-known person in psychology and counseling area. And he wrote so many good books. So you want to just get familiar with that name, Choi, Gerald Choi. And Marianne Schneider and people just wrote that, and then we want to just work on AACC, American Association Christian Counseling Code of Ethics. So actually we want to just read those codes pretty much for I think more than half sessions. We want to just read and think about the codes, the real codes, okay? And course requirements and regular attendance as defined according to the Lordland. I used to have 20 or almost 25 students before. Year 2, I don't know what's going on. Since they are asking, recording this class, I don't know, they are taking that online or not. Students are expected to attend each class period for the full duration of the class. As a roll call will be staged at the beginning of each class. I just quote your name, Joe and Son. And it's the responsibility of each student who arrives superclass after the roll call has been completed to consult with the instructor to ensure that the instructor has record. I didn't write it, the school wrote it. So that's the school policy. So you wanna just familiar with that, loads and codes. Exam presence, and students should also be aware that tardiness and absences will impact the instructor's assessment of the student's participation. That's the participation, and the course follows a lecture discussion format. Students should expect to read assignments and actively participate in the class. Please. Even though you have no backgrounds on psychology or counseling stuff, this class is not that heavy for people, so if you're willing to, you want to just work together. And this is a chance you want to work on the counseling area, especially the law. It's pretty, even though the laws are not that heavy actually, when you read it, you can understand it, because laws are for everybody, not for particular people. So there are not a bunch of heavy or professional terminologies. It's just it's okay. It's okay for you. Participation and assignments. Well, I try to give you, decent assignments, and I'll just work on it. Papers required is a library research project in which each student selects a leader to conduct a comparative library research on the study of Christian leadership development, and then that's part of the Christian counseling, and can think about it. Final exam. So attendance 10%, participation 20, assignments at 30, and final exam 40. So it's gonna be the 100%. This is the schedule, and you wanna just read those stuff. I think you got the schedule and syllabus for this. You haven't got it yet. Okay. I think they will give you as soon as possible. That's our schedule. So ethical degree and vital basis of ethical counseling and ethical decision making model, and then as I told you, you're gonna just read and just think about and share the real code. Okay. Do you have any questions or concerns or comments? No? Right? Okay. All right. Then let's work on ethical degree. When Christians who are mental health professionals speak of Christian counseling, conversation usually turns rather rapidly to matters of theology. Discussion often centers on the compatibility or incompatibility of various counseling interventions with accepted Christian traditions, or on what constitutes distinctively Christian interventions in counseling. Are you familiar with Christianity also? Are you familiar with Christianity, Joe? Christianity, you know what the Christianity, Jesus, church. All right. Okay. Are you? Do you have any particular religion? All right. Okay. So you don't have a religion.
No.
Okay. That can be a religion too.
But I don't believe anything.
You do believe what?
everything.
You believe everything.
Yeah,
You believe Jesus and Buddha and
everything.
everything. All right. What benefits you can get from believing all? Do you have any benefits from them?
No.
You can learn from them.
Yeah, it should be.
All right. Good. Good.
Trust, like trust.
Trust. You trust.
Make you feel safe.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you feel depressed or stressed or anxieties, and what do you do?
Try to do something maybe release my stress.
What you can get from believing everybody?
No,
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 nothing special.
no. Just no. Just do something make you feel fun. Maybe.
Right. Okay. What about son? Do you have any religion?
Christianity.
Christian, Protestant. Okay. Denomination.
I'm at a Baptist church now.
Okay.
Protestant. Or
Okay, good. All right. Because this is for Lordland ethics or Christian counseling. You want to just think about the Christianity, and that's well, I have to explain a little bit of about the Christianity for Joe. Because Christianity started 2,000 years ago, a little bit younger than Buddhism. Okay, and that we Christians are. I'm Christian too, and Christians are believing Jesus, Son of God, descended to the earth. He came down to the earth and lived on this earth like 33 years something, and he sacrificed himself on the cross for delivering, saving all people, and he promised that whoever believes in him and accepts Jesus as our saviors, we can be saved. Okay, so that belief, that particular act of sort of delivering people, that's the base of Christianity. And since then, he had 12 disciples, plus something, plus some people, and they just proclaimed the Gospels. Gospels means good news. I have a Bible in my hand, so that book is it's about Jesus. We have Old Testament and New Testament, and those are for Jesus. So when you want to read it, you can see the coming Jesus and what Jesus did on this earth, and he will come back and something like that. So that's the kind of basic summary of the Christianity. Since Christians are believing in God and Jesus, when we do something like counselings and helping people and living in this, on this earth, we trying to meet what God wants us to do, and we can have some. We can understand what God wants us to do and try to practice it. That's what Christians do. And in the counseling area, we Christians want to just practice counselings and give counselings to people the Christian ways. There are particular Christian ways. Nowadays, churches are losing their power and authorities on this earth. Even the United States we are living in has been losing, Christians' power and authorities on this earth. That's kind of hectic for this country, and I think the Kennedy, even one of the former president, he just canceled all the Bible studies or prayers in the classrooms. That's what happened, and not only for that, Christians themselves been losing their power, and was kind of a model, and the Constitution of the United States written based on actually the church bodies laws and codes, but we don't want to just practice it anymore. That's what happening in this country. But anyways, we want to just think about what the Christian counseling is and how we can be different and how we can just apply those things to our real counseling. Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good. You're taking this class. I'm Choi. We have 3 students, Joe and Sa, and you are
Batua.
Batua?
Yes.
Batua. Okay. Is that your first name?
Yes.
Batua. Okay. It's kind of first time to hear that kind of name. Batua.
Yes.
Alright.
Do I need to sign the paper?
I don't know, I don't have it. You wanna just sign in the front.
Okay.
If you wanna, you can just do that when you go out.
Okay.
Alright. So is this the first time you take the class in the Lordland?
No, it's my 4th year.
4th year?
Yes. This is the first class of master degree.
Okay, okay, great. So what did you study before then?
Bachelor of Theology.
Theology?
Yeah.
Okay. You just work on theological field or church field or something, or you're just taking those classes?
What was it again?
So what are you gonna do with the theology stuff you learn?
I'm taking church.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You are taking any other MD or other classes?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
But I'm thinking in the future.
Okay. May I ask of your background? I mean, the nationality?
Sure, yeah, I'm Turkish.
Turkish.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? You don't call your country's name Turkey anymore, right? What is
Some
it?
people don't, some people do.
Oh yeah.
They call Turkey.
Turkey.
Yes.
Turkey.
But some people call Turkey.
Okay. Right.
Not much difference.
All right. Good to see you. My daughter had a mission trip to the Turkey last year.
Oh yeah?
She made good friends there.
Does she like it?
Oh yeah, and she loved the Turkey people and the cultures, and she had a good time there.
Tasty food.
Right, so we are working on ethics and law and ethics in Christian counseling. So we just got started ethical degree after the syllabus thing. You can, I think, the school will send you the syllabus pretty soon today, and you can take a look at it, the syllabus thing. Okay. The counseling is psychotherapy. So what's the difference between counseling and psychotherapy? Do you know some? No? Therapy is just kind of, it's more about trying to heal and fix things. counseling, it's kind of a broad concept. You want to just counsel for your future, and you want to counsel for your mental health, and you want to just counsel for your properties or something like that. But the psychotherapy is more for just work on the mental health problems. The counseling and psychotherapy are deeply personal endeavors. When people come to counseling, they are often immensely troubled and confused. In therapy, they express feelings, concerns, and secrets they might not feel comfortable sharing with anyone else, even personal confidence, family or work college at times. The counseling room becomes an intimate and personal environment, even a scared space. Life-changing experiences sometimes occur. I believe that God is deeply concerned about these encounters. So have you ever got counseling or psychotherapy before? I did, because when I was just learning psychology stuff and counseling stuff in the United States, the counselors, for becoming counselors, you're supposed to take some counseling. So that just means you wanna be counselees before you wanna be counselors. So I took some counselings. That's the part of the training, and that was very nice counseling center. Lots of counseling rooms and counselors and good staffs and pretty confidential systems and very secure. And there was security guards also, because something can be happened during the counseling sessions. A counselor I know, she got stabbed by a counselee during the counseling. So counseling is pretty dangerous sometimes, because nobody knows what will happen. She was okay, after the surgeries and kind of medical leaves. And she got fully recovered right now, and she's still providing counseling. It's kind of amazing how she can get. She got traumas even, but I don't know, she likes it. So she should still be giving counseling to people. Amazing person. So we need security systems and safety systems, and counselors, we got trained for setting the counseling room. For example, there is a counseling room like this, and there's an entrance and counseling table, and counselors and counselees are supposed to sit like this, because if something happens, counselors can escape right away. So counselors, if you have your own office or any other settings, you want to just think about this too, because it can be happened when you have business interviews or working with your clients. It can be happening. So the owner of the office, whether they are counselors or not, are supposed to sit close to the entrance. You want to just secure your safety, and then you want to just familiar with the escape route. For example, the police officers, they are using their systems too. It's a simple, but some people don't notice that. They don't understand that kind of systems. So usually people sit over there, but that it can be dangerous. You can get trapped by your clients or counselors or enemies, you know, and you got in trouble. So kind of simple things can be applied, and kind of security cameras here or there, or from on the aisles and other places, and police stations, and the courts. They have similar systems, and they use the separated parking lots, and they use their own elevators and staircases for the safety reasons. And I served in a non-profit organization in LA for families who have mental issues, and visitings. When they got divorced, they visit each other's, but they don't want to visit their houses. So that organization provides the separate personal room for family visits, especially when husbands or wives have criminal records and violence records, or they still on the work with the courts still, and then they are not supposed to visit others their spouses' houses. So they have to meet in a neutral place, and they have to use different parking lots and different time to get in there and different time to get out of the room. So those kind of safety system is pretty important. All right, and that's just one simple examples. And sometimes the room can be scary. They have security cameras like we have there. I don't know why we have that. That is, the camera is watching me actually. They are not watching you, but watching me. I don't know why. But anyways, it can be scary because, but counseling, you can get lots of benefits, because even you have best friends. You cannot say everything to your best friends. You don't want to just hide some, but you pay for the counselings, and you can tell everything you have in you. You can express all kinds of emotions and thoughts and feelings and spiritual stuff or something like that. So it is way safer for the counselors. That's why people are willing to pay $30 or $300 for the counselings. Can be life-changing experiences, that can be, because, last week I met a friend of mine. He's working for a church in Orange County, I think LA County. His church is on the borderline, but he has 700 church members. But one of his church members paid for him for counselings. It's not because he has a problem, but the church member understood that, pastors need counselings, because pastors are taking care of lots of people, and they are under stress always. So, his church members just wanted to help his pastors for good. So he paid, I think, around 150. That was really, you know, low price. But the counselor was very well known, good counselor in these areas. So actually he was supposed to pay at least 300 per hour, but the church member paid 150. I don't know what kind of deal they had, but. And he told me that, the pastor told me that he had a really good experience for like a year, you know, 1 year counseling, like, you know, let's say if he got, you know, 40 sessions, 40 times 150, I don't know, it's a lot of money, but his church member was happy to see his pastor got counselors, professional counselors, and that was very, you know, kind of comforting and healing experience for my friend, the pastor. And after that, he actually is seeking for more counseling from different counselor. So I just told him, and I recommended him some counselors and counseling centers around here. And Biola Counseling Center was one of them, because his house is pretty close to Biola University. And that's what the counseling is. As professionals and as Christian people, we frequently have the opportunity to reflect the caring love and concern of God to the people we encounter in therapy. The empathic and deeply caring therapists enriched with knowledge, wisdom, and skill can touch lives and facilitate change. Counselors are not advisors, but they can advise this and that. Counselors are not just mentors, but they can do something for their counselees. Like you know what mentors do for the mentees. But counselors are more about listening rather than speaking, and they just listen to their counselees as much as they can, and then they want to see what's going on in their counselees. So they see their counselees. The verbal and non-verbal languages. Verbal means, you know, the contents and the tones and the voice. There are lots of things you want to just think about the voice, because there are tones and there are lots of fractions too. And then nonverbal communication wise, they see their counselees' facial expressions and how they just speak, and then eyeballs movement and hands and fingers and all kinds of body postures and activities at the same time. Because as you guess, non-verbal communication, including body, you know, the voices and tones and gestures, body languages, it's more important than verbal. So 30% versus 70% non-verbal. And that's so counselors have to think about lots of things, and they have to observe what their counselors are doing when they are talking and listening. And maybe counselors in a Christian counseling settings, they just expect some comforting and any caring something. Yes, they can get caring, but that can be quite different with what they can get from their pastors and church members or church leaders. Because what counselors can do for their counselors are pretty limited, and because of the educational skills and techniques, but also because of the codes and laws, and we have ethics. We are supposed to touch counselees without any, except in any emergency situations also. But pastors and church leaders can, hug and pat their counselors' shoulders and backs, but those are not acceptable to the counselors, especially the professional Christian counselors. But we can think about lots of things, and the things benefits we can get from the counselors. So the counselors want to just provide all good things to their counselors as much as they can. That's the thing. And next one is our primary aspirational desires should be to do our best to help our clients and to make our actions pleasing to God. So that's the Christian thing, and pleasing to God. Helping our clients is the same to what the secular counselors do, but the pleasing God is something else, something for Christian counselors. And how we can please God? Well, the Christians want to just please their God, so they want to just follow what they are supposed to do by God and the Lord. And they call God as Lord. And Christians can learn lots of things from the Bible, God's words, and they can guess and learn and understand what God wants them to do. And that is their, the Christians' law and codes, and it's the same thing actually. The Buddhists, they want to just be nice to people. Not only they don't want to be born, as a rats or snakes in another life after this life. And Muslims, they are doing their best to follow their laws too. And Christians are not exceptions, and they try to please God, so they want to be good and they want to be nice to people and follow the codes and laws as much as they can in this society and countries. And our ongoing quest is to understand what God is calling us to be and to do, and to live in keeping with that calling personally and vocationally. We have a responsibility as people that God loves and redeems to reach out in agape love to others. Agape is, God's love. It's kind of what's called unconditional love to others. It's pretty tough for Christians sometimes, because we are trying to imitate Jesus, God's Son. It's not easy, always, because we want to just give what we got from people. That's what we think. But God wants us to give more than we got from others. There are some differences. So pleasing God is not easy for Christians, but that's what Christians are considering and trying to practice it. I think Turkey has lots of Muslims, right? Mostly, right? How many Christians in Turkey?
Maybe like 5 or 10%.
5 and 10%. That's just still a lot, right?
That's a lot.
10%. Were you Christian in Turkey also?
I wasn't believing in anything.
Okay, you just you're Christian when you got
Then I got here, yes.
Oh, okay.
About like 6 years ago.
Were you Muslim in Turkey?
No.
Oh no, that's why it was easier for you to be
Yes.
Christians. So what's the difference between Christians and Muslims in Turkey? Not in here, but in Turkey.
I think it's two differences. Like one is they don't eat pork. They think it's not good.
Okay.
And the other thing is they don't drink alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. That's only two differences.
Two differences.
Yeah.
Pork and drink
Alcohol, yeah.
alcohols.
Yes.
Okay. So other than that, do you see any particular differences between Christians and Muslims in Turkey?
No, not really.
Not really.
Mm.
Okay. Well, except some minor Muslims, I believe pretty much almost all Muslims are trying to practice what they are believing, and those are pretty good for this society. That's what I believe. And they don't want to harm others, and they don't want to just do something wrong for this society. I mean, in Turkey or wherever they are in. But we have Al-Qaeda or some particular groups. They are practicing something different. What the Muslims are doing.
Yeah, in Turkey,
Yeah.
the people that lives in Turkey, they don't think that the other group that you are saying they're not.
It's different.
They're not Muslim.
Yeah.
They're just playing around,
Mm-hmm.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
I met Ahmed or Ahmad. I don't know. I cannot pronounce that. Ahmed. He must be Ahmed. Right? He's my friend's company's employee, and when I did talk with Ahmed, he's Muslim, but he doesn't practice what he's believing much. I mean, he doesn't go Friday night service or something for the Muslims much. But in general, Muslims they are trying to practice good things. So we don't want to just scare those people because they care what they are believing in. And Christians are about the same. So when we have good religious people, we as long as those are not cults or something, and we can see good people from all religions. And Christians especially, because we are believing in God and trying to practice what we are believing and learn from the Bible, we are trying our best to practice good things, the basis of what we learned from the Bible. Agape is, I think that is too much for people, but as long as we can practice philos, I mean, just just a secular law, I think that is good enough to Christians. You know, that's what I think. If you can practice agape, you learn from God, that'd be great too. Okay. I think we're gonna take a 10 minutes break, and we can get back at 11. Yeah, 11, and we're gonna just finish that. Okay, let's take a look. All right. You know what? Somehow I just made it brighter so I can read this screen, and so yeah, I'm gonna just bring my glasses next time because I just saw the glasses case, so I thought I had glasses, but I didn't bring.
That happens. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we're gonna just continue the first session, and clients want to know, will my therapist have the skills to help me? That is, same thing to everybody. If you want to just go to a restaurant, you want to just know they have good food, they have a good chef, they have good servers, and something like that. We just care, and all counseling clients care. If their counselors have good skills, they have good education and good techniques, good skills, good hearts. Will my therapist keep what I say confidential? Confidentiality is kind of very important. What the confidentiality means?
Confident.
It's not confidence. Confidentiality, you just told me that you came from Taiwan, and if that is a secret, I'm not supposed to talk to others. Joe came from Taiwan, okay? No, because you don't want me to tell what you told to me to others. I have to keep it as a secret, okay? That's the confidentiality. It's confidential. There are lots of, technically, what you talk with your clients in a counseling sessions, you don't want to talk about your counseling at all, okay? Whatever it is, all are confidential.
Like secretly?
Yeah, all are confidential. You don't want to talk to your friends about the counseling, okay? But if you are counselee and I'm counselor, I'm not supposed to talk anything about you to others, okay? That's what counselors are supposed to do. But you are a counselee, you can talk about me to others, because I'm a counselor. You can talk about, my counselor is ugly, my counselor is not kind. You can tell anything about your counselor to others, but the counseling, okay? And third one is, will I be able to trust my therapist to treat me with the same respect, care, and attention the therapist would want for him or herself? That means no discriminations, okay? So I'm a counselor. I'm not supposed to be more kind to Asian, but not too kind to Europeans or something like that. No discriminations. I respect male more than female. I'm not supposed to do it. I have to respect both male and female. And LGBTQs, if I open to LGBTQs, I'm not supposed to discriminate those people. Okay, whether they are educated or not, whether they are rich or not, whether they have high social status or not, I'm not supposed to discriminate those people. And clients want to know if I discriminate, if their counselors discriminate and treat others different ways. They want to know it, okay? Which means counselors are not supposed to do it. Okay, the last one is the clients want to know, will my therapist uphold moral values that I believe are important? Moral values are so important. I'm supposed to be, show them morally. So, am I supposed to, the counselors are supposed to touch their clients, except any emergency situations. That's the moral, that's the ethics. Okay? So the counselors are educated and equipped for the better and higher standard. So that's what clients want to know and want to be. They want to be respected. They want to be treated equally too. And APA, American Psychology Association code, that's published in 2010, and Principle A, there are some principles, and we want to just talk about those principles. And Principle A, beneficence and more efficiency. Following a mandate later down, originally in the Hippocratic Oath, the ethical therapist seeks to benefit clients and strives not to do things that would harm them. The therapist seeks to advance and refine his or her professional skills and generally avoids areas in which he or she is not knowledgeable. The therapist tries to be sensitive to and avoid those things that will harm the client. In unusual circumstances where harm is unavoidable, as when the therapist must break confidentiality to protect someone, the therapist does everything possible to minimize the harm. So what can be the exceptions? What can be the exceptions in confidentiality? Okay. Joe, what do you think? What can be the exceptions in confidentiality? So you are a counselor and I'm a counselor, and you did talk in a counseling sessions, and you are supposed to keep all things secret, confidential. Okay, those are all confidential, but you want to just break the confidentiality. In what circumstances you want to break the confidentiality?
Me as a
Counselor.
counselor,
Yeah.
if me,
Yeah.
I don't think I can break any rules.
Yeah,
If
you
I
don't-
want
you
to
don't
be
wanna
a
break-
counselor,
Okay, you
Yeah.
don't want to break any.
yeah, no.
So what about you? Can I have your name, please?
Joel?
Joel? Let's see. Is this the first time you take the counseling things? Alright. So all counselors are supposed to be confidential, and they want to just be confidentiality in their counseling sessions, which means they don't want to just open anything to others when they just learn from the counseling sessions. So, but there are some exceptions. There is no rule without exceptions, right? So,
What about family?
what about what?
Like, what about, can you talk to your family?
Well, my wife is a counselor, but I don't talk to my wife about my counseling.
Your case?
No. But when I just needed some help from my wife, I can just talk about
Like advice?
certain situations, but I don't want to just talk about my counselors. So what can be the exceptions? Alright,
Yeah.
okay. What about son, if you are a counselor and you wanna just keep the confidentiality, but you wanna just break the confidentiality, when? In what circumstances?
Maybe like a criminal.
Criminals, like what?
So like, this person's gonna constantly is gonna commit a crime.
Okay, the
And
current crime or past crime?
maybe in the future. Premeditated.
Potential criminal?
criminal activity.
Okay, like,
Or like abuse.
okay, using people?
Or abusing a minor, and it
Okay.
opens up to you. You have to
Alright.
report it.
Yeah, that's good. Those can be good exceptions, including the suicidal attempts. Cause that's not breaking the counselor's ethics or cause. We have to be alerted, and we are not supposed to be hesitated to report to that to the proper organizations, and including supervisors or police department, and child. And there is particular child for the agencies for protecting children's. So law enforcement can be involved when we are facing those kind of situations. And that's not only for the counselors, but also to the doctors, medical doctors and teachers, and pastors too. Firefighters and all kinds of counselors. But I don't think the pastors and any religious leaders, it is pretty hard for those people because they want to protect and have their counselors, including their church members, but at the same time they want to just secure the safety. But sometimes they cannot keep those both parties, so they have to report to that right away. But the majority of religious leaders don't do that, and it makes more problems. So we have to know that. And then I just noticed that in the United States, the seminaries in the United States, they just teach their seminary students about the pastoral ethics, including those kind of codes and laws. But I haven't got anything about those kind of things in Korea. So that's one of the many differences. So APA codes, American Psychology Association codes, says Principle A, there are some exceptions on confidentiality. Principle B, fidelity and responsibility. Ethical therapists strive to be trustworthy. Clients should be able to trust that their therapists will do the best they can do. They can to uphold the essential standards of clinical care and professional conduct. Therapists are sensitive to their responsibilities to the wider community and to society. Have you ever heard about the rapport? O-R-T, rapport. That's when you meet new people for business or counseling or anything else, you want to just build the rapport. It's kind of trust between people. For building rapport is pretty kind of crucial and essential for the counselors. So they want to just give their build the trust with their counselors, or their counselors will not open their hearts to their counselors. Counselors, they want to just build the rapport with their counselors too. So they want to just trust each other and they can help each others. That's why they are paying for that. So rapport is pretty important. Trust, pretty important. Or they're not gonna open. Or, cause even between the friends and best friends, they wanna just see, can I just open this to my friend? Will it be safe? Or he or she's not gonna tell that to others. You know what? Over 50s, over 50. You know, I was told that over 50, we are supposed to live alone. You know, so we have to be lonely rather than be more just gang activities or something else. I think that is true. That is true, and I feel that sometimes my best friends, they, my closest friends are living around here, and my best friends are living in Sweden, and even those people can be wrong to me, and those are little tiny things, but still I can feel offended sometimes. When we meet counselors or psychiatrists, we know that they know about the confidentiality, and they keep the secrets and they don't open to others. That's why we can tell them whatever we have in our hearts and thoughts. So that is the good things we can get from the counselors. Principle B, fidelity and responsibility. That's crucial. And principle C, integrity. Therapists seek to be honest and consistent in the way they represent themselves in their professional activities. This is important when the therapist is involved in a direct clinical service, but it is just as true when the therapist is engaged in research, teaching, or in representing the profession, and it's knowledge based to the general integrity. So that's I think that is the hardest thing we can keep. Honesty is the best policy, but some people want to just twist things and they tell a lie, and because they want to protect themselves, they want to just protect their profits, whether they are young or not, adult, even they are 60s or 70s, still they tell a lie, and twist, and they spread gossips and rumors. They bully others. A couple of weeks ago, and I had a chance to teach people about the bullies, and there were lots of seniors, and as soon as I just started the presentation on bullying, they said, we have bullies in here too, Seniors, they are brave. Some brave seniors, they said, we have bullies in here too. It's not surprising. We can see bullies bullyings and bullies everywhere. So it's kind of sad, but it is what happening in our societies. And whether that is small groups or big groups, and even we can see those bullying in our churches, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. But integrity and honesty is pretty important. Because we don't have integrity, people think integrity is, it's not that great things for them because of their greediness. They don't want to lose their faith, so they are willing to be liar. I could see lots of liars. It's kind of sad, but that's what people do. But counselors, we don't want to just lose the integrity. That's the one of the principles. And principle D, justice. Justice has to do with the therapist's responsibility to treat people fairly, to avoid prejudice and bias, and to be particularly sensitive to protecting the rights of the vulnerable among us. Okay. Justice, which means fair to all people, and a friend of mine in the United States, he was one of the first friends in the United States 25 years ago, and he used to work for LA Times in printing departments, and because he's printing, he was printing the newspapers every day, every night. He got free LA Times, and then he said, "We all biased." He used to say, "We all biased." That is true. We all biased because we have different, cultural backgrounds and education backgrounds, and we all have different parents. We all, just read different books and experiences. When I got mission training in Kona, Hawaii, the school leader just told us that Filipinos and Filipinos, they think they take short pants as a sexual thing, so we are not supposed to wear short pants in Philippines. But as soon as we got there, when actually right after, as soon as he just told about that, and I noticed that is wrong information. Because all Asians, especially in Philippines and Indonesia or Taiwan, almost all people are wearing short pants. And nobody thinks the short pants are sexual. Well, there are some kinds of short pants, particularly short pants, they tore, here or there, too much short pants, something like that. That is sexual to people, but all short pants are sexual to Philippine people. That was wrong. So as soon as we got there, I and a New Zealand friend, we used to ask that kind of questions to Philippine people. So, is wearing short pants sexual? And they said no. As long as we wear, just regular short pants is not sexual in Filipino or in Asian countries, in the United States. But they gave us the school leader gave us wrong information. I don't know where the kind of things he got from. He has wrong eyes, I think. So we can get lots of wrong informations because we all are biased. So we have to admit that we can be biased, and we are all biased, and we are all opinionated because we are all different. Not because we are all wrong, but because we are all different. We all are different. So we have to remember that we are all biased and opinionated. So we cannot be just fair and be justice. But we are trying to do it. And for the counselors, we want to just treat all people equally and fairly. And we don't want to just try, we don't want to just start from something. When we just see our clients, the counselors want to start from zero, okay? Like the Dr. Howard Gardner in Harvard University, he must be the head of the education department. He started the zero project, which means let's say we don't know anything, so let's from the zero, so we can understand our children from zero, little by little, so we can build the solid knowledge and facts and information for our education work. That's what Dr. Howard Gardner said, and that's what's called the Zero Project in Harvard University. Like so, the counselors want to start from zero. We don't know anything about you, and let's get to know each other. And I'm ready to know from you from zero. Whether you have, particular nationalities or cultural differences, you look different because you are handicapped or whatsoever. We want to just start from zero. That's the what the counselors are supposed to take. Or we are in trouble because we don't want to build this particular relationship on the basis of what we have already. Oh, you are Korean, you are Japanese, you are Chinese and Taiwanese, and you are Europeans. We want to just, I know you, and I have some experience with European Americans or something. That is no good idea. It's kind of weird that it was weird for me when I just met my friend. She came to the States for studying piano right after the high school, and she met a Caucasian guy and she got married. And I did talk with her with other friends about the nationalities and something like that, and I just she told me that her husband his background is Swedish because his father was in the military in the U.S. and but his mother came from Sweden. So American military person just got married to a Swedish lady in the United States. So I just told her that, oh, then your husband is European American. And have you ever heard about the European Americans? all whites are European Americans. We call them whites or Caucasians, but they are all European Americans, right? Because they came from Europe. Well, some people born in the United States, but most people in the United States, they just ask our nationalities. So whenever people just ask me where you're from, I just tell them I'm from Orange County, California, but they just wonder what about originally where you're from, Originally I'm from God, because God created me. And then, but I know what they are asking, but I don't want to just tell them what they want to hear first. So sometimes it's kind of offending others when you just ask where you're from. So whenever they ask me where you're from, eventually I just tell them I'm from Korea. And what about you? Where are you from? And most European Americans or whites or Caucasians, they usually ask where you're from to others, but they haven't asked where they're from. So, and then they just answer me, they were born in the United States, and what about your parents? What about your ancestors when they came to the States? Because the North America is not for European Americans originally. So they have no ideas sometimes. So I just ask their last names, and I can figure that out whether they came from France or Spain or Italy or German, and I just tell them, oh, you are German Americans and French Americans or something like that, and that's the first time in most cases they just hear about that. But I do that because sometimes I feel offended. Sometimes I just play with that. The kind of the background games. Anyways, we want to just treat people fairly. We don't want to have just treat people different ways because of their nationalities and cultures or skin colors or something like that. Okay. Principle E, respect for people's rights and dignity. This principle changes that therapists should seek to respect the words of the people with whom they work, including the person's right to privacy, confidentiality, and self-determination. Again, the principle places a special emphasis on remembering to respect the rights and dignity of those who are particularly vulnerable and whose ability to make autonomous decisions is compromised by physical, mental, or other factors. So principle E is respect for people's rights and dignity. Okay. What do you think the words of people? What's the worth of people? What's the dignity of people? Son, what do you think the dignity of the people? What's the dignity means?
I guess the inherent value of that person.
Okay.
Inalienable rights of that person.
Alienable rights? Okay. What about you? What's the dignity?
High
What's the dignity of people?
high society.
High society. Okay. Do you think that animals have a dignity too? Do you think little kids have a dignity too? When we just think about the dignity, we can just think this way, Do you think you want to respect little kids? They are worthy to be respected? If you say yes, they have dignities. When we think, animals are supposed to be respected by people, and they have dignities. Yes, all animals have dignity, but we ignore. Okay. So when you just go Corona, the city of Corona or somewhere else, you can see the chicken farms and egg farms or something like that, and you can buy some eggs at an expensive price, because they just let their chickens play on the field, not in the cages, and they just lay their eggs on the particular places, and then they just harvest those eggs from the chicken's nest, and they think they respect their chicken, and that's the way they just produce better eggs, they believe. And people are supposed to be respected, whether they are young and old, whether they are serving or being served. We want to just respect people, and they have more dignity. And we want to just people treat with the dignity. And that's what the counselors are supposed to have. We want to just treat people right, which means we want to respect the people, whether they are young and old, educated or not, literate or illiterate. They are just regular or handicapped or non-handicapped, women or men. We want to respect those people because they have rights and they have dignity. That means we want to respect their rights to be served. Okay. So we want to, especially the counselors want to respect the rights and dignity of those people, especially the vulnerable. When they are vulnerable, they are in jeopardy and problems, and they are under stress, and they got depressed. We want to respect those people. Well, it is sad to hear, whenever we hear that some doctors mistreated their patients when they are in asleep because of the anesthesia and some other things, and they just mistreat those clients, roommates, because they think they don't have to respect those patients, and that's why they mistreat those people. So counselors want to just treat people, respect ways, Because when we see people in vulnerable, we think they are weak, we think they are helpless, we think they are not smart enough, so we can mistreat them or look down them. That is no ways. That's not the way we are supposed to treat our counselees. And then they have rights to make decisions, so we don't direct our clients. Why don't you do this? Do that. Go this way. We don't direct people, but we just suggest, we recommend, and we try to let those people, our clients, to make their own decisions to the right ways, to the better ways. So when they choose wrong or different choice, the ways, we don't just judge them, but we just rather to try to help them so that they can find better ways. So it takes a long time to work with clients, and some clients they don't understand that they have a right to make decisions, because when they are vulnerable, they feel helpless. They cannot understand that they have rights to make decisions, to make choices. So the clients are not, they are almost always vulnerable, so they want to just see their counselors. So the counselors want to respect the client's rights and dignity, so we want to just respect them always, whether they are just acting something, and showing some childish things. And even the little kids, we have to know and keep that in our minds that they have rights to make decisions. And they have rights and dignity, so we want to just respect our clients. So that's the principle E, okay? So we just took a look what the APA codes has, and especially the principles A to E. Do you have any questions or comments? Then I think that's it for today, so I hope I can see you next week. So have a nice day.